Woo! So Charlamagne had a lot to say. So it's a lot of different moving parts. But one thing I do want to hit on first, did Donald Trump win because Americans wanted more money in their pockets, like they did back in COVID?
Of course.
Go ahead.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Yes.
Why
That
y'all
has
think?
to do with it. The economy.
Well, hold on. Victor, why you say definitely not?
Everybody that always says Trump is going to help the economy, the only time Trump helped is when he put his name on the check and gave people money. Anytime you hear him talk, he's always saying this billionaire, that billionaire. He's not saying middle class or I'm going to help you. I'm in New York. I'm seeing all of this right now. He's not trying to help middle class and poor people. The first thing he said was he's going to drill, baby, drill. I'm going to make so much money with oil. Note the key word. I'm going to make so much money with oil. That's what he said out of his own mouth. So middle class and poor, it was a poor choice. Either way we went. Democrats, Kamala was not fit to be president. And in my opinion, neither is Trump. And I'm a black Republican.
Why do people qualify their statement by saying that they are black Republican?
It's not about that, man. I'm probably older than everybody on the panel. My granddad put me on with something a long time ago, and it was about money. You're from Detroit, correct?
That's correct.
I'm from Detroit also. I'm in New York now. My grandfather was in Flint, Michigan. Rovic Real Estate and Electronics, 1st black millionaire in Flint, Michigan. He built all of that shit, like all of the electronics and whatnot. So I've seen money, and I also seen the opposite of money. So when you see people that don't have, and then you're trying to elect a president that's going to help people that actually need something, you want to go with that best pick. And right now, I don't believe America did that. I just don't.
I'm gonna save my thoughts. I'm gonna let everybody get it off.
Okay. Anybody else want to comment?
I feel like Trump was the best pick. I mean, we only had two options. I mean, you know, there were some people that were still going for RFK, Jill Stein, and a couple of others, but realistically, we only had two choices. And if it was either Trump or Kamala, you see who won, the popular vote. So that, you know, who would have been the better choice if not Trump?
One of the things that Drill Baby Drill does is that specifically it helps the state of Pennsylvania, which was a swing state. What a lot of people don't understand is that all of these mandates that's happening that then prevented them from being able to drill and leverage what we have right under our feet is literally eliminating jobs. It's eliminating the circulation of money. And more importantly, it's preventing us from being able to address two issues. Number one, that we have so much overspending from the government, which then forces people to have to pay additional taxes. And it is trickle-down economics, and so it absolutely hurts you. And that's one of the reasons why Democrats say that the economy is booming and that we have record low unemployment, but people don't necessarily feel it because your everyday prices and the things that you do on a regular basis is absolutely affecting you. So, for example, you can say, for example, Kamala Harris, oh, I'm going to tamp down on grocery prices or gouging. Anybody that knows and anybody that's a part of Stock Club knows that the margins for a grocery store is very, very small. On average, Kroger, which is one of the biggest grocers in the United States of America, generates about $150 billion a year, but they only make less than $2 billion in profit. Their gross is $150 billion. Their net profit is only $2 billion. So it's just empty promises. But at the same time, if you really start to do the math, grocery prices is rising. So the grocery stores aren't the ones that's benefiting from it. It's everything else that's affecting the economy, including what's happening with these wars and us sending money over there. Also, what happens on your everyday spending when it comes to your job, more people is getting laid off. And so you have less unemployment. But what they're not telling you in those numbers is that less people are seeking jobs that's now fell out of the job market. A lot of them is just hustling. And more importantly, the people that are employed are underemployed. And often at times they have to have more than one job. And so when Trump was in office, what you seen was record low inflation. You seen more money coming into the American economy because we had less going out to things that didn't matter, like wars, like the Ukraine war, like having a migrant crisis. And when you pay attention to places like New York and Chicago, the reason why Eric Adams is now mandating that food voucher program is no longer sustainable is because it's affecting everyday Americans and it's using your tax dollars to pay for things that people are not paying into the system for.
Bro, don't do that when I'm here. I see what the product is.
Give me a second.
That part, that's horrible.
Give me a second. What you see in Chicago, for example, is you see property taxes skyrocketing every single year. And now they're raising property taxes another $300 million in order to plug holes. And the people that's paying for it is the middle class.
Can I ask you a question? What you think happened when they stopped the food voucher program right here in New York 2 days ago? What do you think happened? Immediately, not even like a week later, not a month later, 1 day later, what do you think happened? 1 day, crime all over the place. These ignorant people ran in Walmart the other day, tore the whole store down from the bottom to the top. And yes, that is the immigrants, but you tell somebody they can't feed their family, they have the right idea. Bro, I was in the Army 13 years. They got the right ideas. Everybody can't come here illegally. I got all kind of other ideas. Like if you weren't in the military, you shouldn't be allowed to vote like they do in other countries. But that's a whole different thing. But when the second they stopped that food, crime went crazy.
Because
it's good to have an idea, but you got to have a plan.
No. You're being reactive. They were never supposed to be here in the first place. You're talking.
I agree.
No. Hold on. You talking about something that the Democrats caused and what's the effect of it? Now we dealing with the repercussions because you couldn't sustain that program forever in the first place. I'm talking about the fact that Trump had record low border crossings in the first place, which then prevented your grocery stores from being raided or from us having to be put over a barrel and having a gun to our heads in order to continue to fund them in order to prevent crime from going up in the first place.
What caused those record lows?
I'm not talking about how y'all feel. I'm talking about the truth.
Facts over feelings. None of that.
Is that they never should have been here in the first place. And the fact that he had leveraged the federal government to enforce the laws that we already have on board was one of the things that was preventing what you see happening today, that the food voucher program had to stop. And you got to also remember that he's not even in office yet. This is still under the Kamala Harris and Biden regime.
Of course.
So you can't blame him for what's going on in New York right now.
It's not about blaming him for what's going on. It's big picture. No. It's big picture. It's huge picture. Whenever you have a plan, I don't care what your plan is. Trump said his plan is to deport all of the illegals. I agree with getting people out of here that aren't supposed to be here, but that's a much longer, deeper conversation. You can't just you don't think so?
Make your point. I'm listening to you.
You can't just throw people out without having a plan because there are too many people. If you could say today we're going to round up everybody and tomorrow they would be gone, cool. Not an issue. It's not possible. Under anybody's regime, that's not a possibility. So you need a better plan instead of just saying what you're going to do.
What did he say the plan was?
To round everybody up and put them out and build the strongest border ever.
That's not what he said. He said the first thing that he needed to do was make sure that he removed the people that were here committing crimes and being released, catch and release, and back on the streets.
That's bad here, yeah.
That's the first thing that they said that they were going to do. Then they said that they were going to strengthen the borders. Then they said that they were going to make sure that they had everybody that was supposed to be out of here. So, for example, all of those judges that said, listen, your time is expired, your visa expired, you're no longer supposed to be here, but the people decided that they wanted to stay and run in the first place, those people have to be addressed. And so he never said that he was just going to automatically deport everybody. But what he said was people that continue to break the law, those are the first ones that we need to adjust. And that's why he put Tom Homan, I think that's his name, Tom Homan, into office, who was the person that was securing the border when he was in office in the first time, and then he retired again. That's why he put him back into office. And that guy specifically is a person that worked the border. And for example, he was the director of ICE and he worked his way up the ranks. And so that's
he was a beat cop also. Yeah, I know Homan.
People in ICE and all of the people that was border patrol agents was cheering and applauding when he appointed him as the person that is supposed to be the border czar. So we can't just let the insane people run the asylum and think that that's okay. Yes, he does have a plan, and yes, things are going to be implemented. But at the same time, all of these cynical people that don't like him and don't actually read the plan to understand what's being implemented are the problem, and it's the reason why these people are over here in the first place. Because I never heard you say anything about Kamala Harris stopping or Biden stopping.
You got it wrong. I don't care about Kamala Harris or Biden. I don't care.
Why wouldn't you if they're the people that's in office right now?
Whoever's the president, that's who the people vote for, just like with Trump. Whoever's in there, they have to do a good job. They haven't done a good job. I never said they did. Biden's damn near senile.
It's Trump.
Right. That's what we were talking about right now. That was the conversation.
But why is there so much feedback for somebody that's not even sworn in yet? And there's no feedback for the people that actually created the problem.
Oh no, they get feedback too. There's a Biden was in office for 4 years. Biden didn't do anything during his term. During his term, in my opinion, he didn't do anything as far as national security.
We got
nothing.
that part. But
let me ask you a question. Who did you vote for?
I voted for Trump. That's not. He would.
You voted for Trump. You don't feel like he was the best option?
No, I don't. But women. No, I didn't say he wasn't the best option. He's the best option in some regards. Women won't like me saying this. This is the truth. If you go to Iraq, Russia, Korea, they won't even deal with Kamala Harris. They won't even talk to her. Like that's just that's their thing. So there's no reason to have a president in office that can only negotiate with the more civilized places on earth. That doesn't make sense.
Wait,
they won't even talk to
Trump.
I would say that people absolutely 100% voted number one because of their pockets is hurting. If you're telling me that people didn't vote based off of their pocketbooks, I would say that is not true 100%.
I know here every black person in New York that I know that voted for Trump was like, yeah, he gonna give me another check. So that tracks.
Like, how many people did you talk to that said that?
I work in a lot of people.
What is
a lot?
Give me a number.
You know what like PWM 28 is? Like if I said that, would that make any sense to you?
It wouldn't.
That's like the school system out here in New York. So when you got a whole lot of people, even the adults, all of the black men that were, I'm voting for Trump, and nobody says because of this job, because the job don't pay anything in the first place.
In New York, they voted for Kamala Harris, black men at the highest. So I'm not even really sure what your sample size is.
New York people in my building.
It was blue as hell. And black men in New York voted for Kamala Harris at the highest clip in the entire country outside of California, outside of Los Angeles, California.
Watch this. I haven't talked to a black man in New York that said they voted for Kamala Harris.
Well, they lying because the numbers don't lie.
Okay.
They're absolutely lying because New York is blue as hell. And as a matter of fact, my biggest problem is that I think that most black men are weak. I think that they absolutely weak. If it was up to black men.
You believe that?
If it was up to black men and black women in this election, we would be facing another Kamala Harris. And
absolutely.
You believe that for real?
Well, they voted at an 80% clip.
Emotional voting.
All over America, they voted at an 80% clip for Kamala Harris.
You gotta remember, listen, let me tell you something. White people are the ones that saved this election. No matter how many people switched over, no matter how many people switched over and voted for Trump, the numbers say, even though we 13.6% of the population, we still collectively voted for Kamala Harris at an 80% clip.
Can I show the this?
Pull it up.
There you go.
On average, if you combine black men and black women, 88 and 73%, we still voted for Harris at an 80% clip combined. Like I said,
saying black man is weak is wild behavior, though, man.
Absolutely.
It's true.
Most black men
go for a woman.
You think that
73% of the population that voted a black man, they simps.
So that brings up a question for me then. So if a black man voted for Kamala, they simp? That's
absolutely.
They're a weak man. Absolutely.
You believe that?
100%. Because first of all, before we even get into policies, I would never, under any circumstance, ever vote for a woman to lead me. Never. I will never vote for a woman to lead me. Under no circumstance. That's not even in our nature to look for leadership in a woman. Mm-hmm. What the fuck is we talking about?
Especially they ran a campaign trying to get the woman to go against the man. Mm-hmm. So you to turn around as a man and vote for that.
You will vote for a woman to lead you?
Michelle, I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth.
I'm asking you.
I didn't say that. Didn't I just tell you I voted for Trump?
You said it. I'm asking you a question. Would you ever vote for a woman to lead you?
Not to lead me in politics and no shit like that. Definitely not.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
So I just want to be like, what is the hostility about? Because that's why I was confused. I didn't know that you.
Well, there's no hostility, but a couple of the things my man said is wild. Like saying black men are weak. I see. I work with younger black people. I'm not going to say black men are weak. I'm going to say they don't have any leadership at all. Every leader we've actually had didn't fake get assassinated. They got assassinated. We don't have no leaders in our community. So to say black men is weak, there's a whole lot of kids with no fathers in the home. So they are raised by these. That's the truth. So they're raised by these single ass women that want to be men. And then you got you, black man from Detroit, talking about black men are weak. They're not weak. They need some guidance bad. Who are role models?
They're weak because they need guidance. They didn't have fathers in their lives, and it was raised in single mother households. That's exactly why they're weak. Now we can get into the why they weak, but listen, black men voting for Kamala Harris at a 73% clip. We deal with the majority, not the minority. The numbers is telling us, and that's weakness.
Especially after the campaign that she ran, which targeted the black woman to go against the black man. You had Michelle Obama up there telling you to go against the black man.
I don't agree with none of that, and I also don't agree with
why do you think that the minute that they started to have problems with black men, Obama can come out there and whip y'all and tell y'all that they're gonna get Michelle on y'all if y'all don't get in line? Why do you think that did
he do that for real? Is that what he did?
That's exactly what he did. Yeah. Why do you think that when they started putting the proposals together in order to address black men, one of the top things was we're going to legalize weed on a federal level?
That's the dumbest thing people
After
have done.
she put men in jail for that. After she put men in jail for it.
So I have a question to Ty, because Ty, I know you are a Kamala voter. What do you think about all that's being said?
Oh, I forgot about Ty. Oh, let me stop talking about weak black men. Go ahead, big dog.
So she lost fair and square. She lost the popular vote, which is very surprising. So I don't know how any, like I saw the Charlamagne clip and the other clip. She lost. Like, you at some point you have to just admit that she did run a horrible campaign. You know, I didn't want to say it before the election, but I think most people voted for Kamala, like myself, was because Trump, a convicted felon. We never had a convicted felon. A man that can't keep his household in check. How many times he was married? 3 times.
But is there a reason that you voted for Kamala other than something related to Trump?
I'll be honest, no. Trump.
So you voted for a homewrecker?
I think Trump is a horrible man to pick as a leader of the country.
But politicians in other countries don't care about that. They don't care whether he's misogynistic to people or whether he's a convicted felon. They obviously have respect for him because they've been getting some act right ever since he got elected. It's not about, nobody cares about his personal business. There's money at stake, there's land at stake, there's resources at stake. Y'all have to be adults. All this, I don't like him because he was touching women. He's a convicted felon. Who cares in the grand scheme of things? This is chess. It's not checkers.
Not having dinner.
I don't care about that. These other world leaders do not care about that. Kamala is a joke. They would treat her like a joke. They would treat the United States as a joke. And all y'all care about is Trump bad. Trump touches women. Trump, grow up. I'm sorry. This is no disrespect. But I'm so sick and tired of hearing black men always have an excuse for why that they're weak, why they make weak voting decisions. That's weak. That's weak. As a man, you should be okay with a man operating in his masculinity that is supposed to be leading the world, the most powerful country on the planet. But y'all would pick an incompetent woman who is clearly a puppet. She can't talk about any policy. She can't talk about anything past 30 minutes. Like, it's infuriating to me as a woman. And then people want to talk about me because I think black men are weak. It's the truth. Like, almost 80% of black men that voted for Kamala because they don't like Trump. Think about the bigger picture. And that's all. I'm sorry.
Well, Trump won the election, so it's kind of
no thanks to black men.
But it's still the principle about
it. The Latinos outvoted y'all. They saved this country.
The
Latino man.
To see Latinos vote that high after what was said, I'm like, damn. Latinos.
Well, most of the Latinos don't want more immigrants over here anyway, so that makes a lot of sense when people really just get down to it. They just don't. It's like we enough.
Black men shouldn't either. They are like the losing demographic.
Well, there was a great number of Latinos that got unalived by these same people, and y'all like people keep grouping them together and to think that I think it's very racist to say just because I'm Latino I'm supposed to go and accept that we have murderers and rapists and all of that over here. And just because they came from my country or a country that speak my language, I'm supposed to just be okay with them being in here. But then at the same time, we got the Hispanic little girls being unalived and being left with no clothes on because they've been touched in all type of crazy ways by these same people that y'all trying to call their cousins.